To Catherine Janeway II.
Chakotay, do it! Hooray!
Hooray!
Welcome to the party, Sheriff.
All right, boys. Shall we get down to brass tacks?
Are those the tacks that Roland is going to use to reattach all the doors in this inn after he knocks them all down?
So, Bola's gonna wake up. We'll get you to do a Constitution saving throw to see how Bola's doing. Wow. Okay. Bolo's drunk, but he's power drunk. What does Bolo remember?
Bolo remembers very chivalrously leading them to the room, chatting them up in a very high society manner, regaling them with tall tales, but in a dashing style, offering to dance with each of them in turn around the room, before politely kissing each on the forehead and having a nap. That's what he remembers.
Okay, so here's what really happened. Bolo was extolling his exploits to hyperbole. He was escorted up to the room. So Bolo remembers dancing with each of the ladies. He actually was just throwing them around the room as they were trying to subdue him physically onto the bed.
Uh-oh.
And then at the point he remembers politely kissing each on the forehead and then having a nap, he quite literally expired on his feet, falling onto the bed. So, Bolo, you wake up naked on the bed, door open, wardrobe open, all your possessions in a sack in the wardrobe. Dies to Bolo.
Yeah, Bolo's going to roll over and go back to sleep.
Okay. Just back to the recap. How did we leave things with Lucas?
The party was going to see him at his stall the next day.
Right. Okay, good.
And I'm going to tell him to quit stalling.
Quit stalling?
Oh, God, Jesus.
He
Keep
runs
going.
a stall, Pete.
Oh, gotcha.
That was so much funnier than the actual pun.
Thank you.
I will go back and see if I can rouse Bolo and procure his Tulseed. And with that, Roland will proceed back to Bolo's room.
It's strangely still quite quiet in the inn despite the door kicking.
Strange indeed.
Roland will give him a smack on the head. Bolo, smack.
I would have just broadside of the machete across his bare ass, but that's how Artemis do.
Bolo will wake up and immediately make a grapple attempt on Roland.
Yes.
So Roland's able to deftly dodge out of the way of said grapple.
Roland, what are you, beat? You're trying to cuddle and beat again.
I see you've been carousing with the ladies.
Oh, I'm not so loud, Roland. You banging on doors in my dreams.
Get dressed. Where's your Tulseed?
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, no.
I'll go. Roland will go over to the wardrobe and start going through his things looking for it.
Yeah, help yourself, Roland.
All right, so Roland regains the room with Artemis and leaves Bolo doing Bolo.
He is a consummate professional. He will get dressed and he'll head over there.
So the party all united with these three women in the room, and here we all are.
Artemis is going to eye Bolo up and down and give him a bit of a nod as he enters, and then look over to Roland and say, the predicament as I see it is this. If these ladies do not leave the area of effect of the influence that our most eminent host has over the people of this fair city, they will return underneath his thrall, and our hands will be laid bare, as it were. We have very few options other than continuing to administer them Tulsi seed, of which there is not enough doses for the rest of us to continue for much longer. Or...
Oh, we could just go to the cancel seat.
I think that's probably the last thing we should do at this point in time.
We could just hit there right now.
Ladies, if you'll excuse us for a moment, usher the lads out of the room into the hallway and reiterate the situation in more plain language, essentially laying out, if they stay here, they'll rat us out. Bolo, you should know that these women were all sent against us as agents of Erasmus to beguile, charm, and then take us to the council seat apart from our weapons. Moreover, we've had recent, and I'll just sort of like very quickly reiterate the information that we gathered from Lucas.
Fascinating. So, Erasmus is in league with the undead. All the better reason to go see him in the council seat right now.
We have set about a plan to contact this resistance. Those who are familiar with Erasmus perhaps would have information that could lead us to know of some weakness, to give us some guidance in what even to do.
I think we'll have to get them out of the city and to the resistance in order for them not to fall back under his thrall. I suggest that two of us continue to take the Tulsi and the third to be bound, as not to raise the alarm. The two will meet Lucas and procure more in the morning.
Artemis places his hands out in a wrists upturned, cuff me position and says, as the individual currently least effective in this realm, I suggest that I be the one to be bound.
You put it forward very convincingly, Roland. We will infiltrate this resistance. When exactly are we supposed to meet with Lucas?
I push a steadying hand on Bolo's shoulder and say, I've got this.
Oh, it's not that, it's...
I've got this.
Okay, but go back to bed, Roland.
I think we should try and get as much rest as possible.
Bolo is flabbergasted that he was woken up in the first place for this nonsense.
Come to our room, we have to tie Artemis up.
Roland's going to put his cloak down, lie down, and try and get some shut-eye.
Right there on the floor?
Like, yeah, I'm used to sleeping in the woods, so...
Yeah, libation break. Libation break with Hal Johnson and Joanne McLeod.
Heck yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Well, start us off, Bolo. What's Bolo doing?
Bolo will put himself together and professionally make his way down to the common area of the inn.
Roland,
All
to
right.
you.
Roland, seeing him there, he'll join him.
Roland, good morning. Let's get to the council seat and get this business done with.
We are not going to the council seat. We do not go to the council seat. Artemis is comfortable. The girls are in good shape. So let's have some breakfast and then we can make our way to the market.
They hear the front door open. In what sounds like a lockstep, they see 3 sentries that they observed patrolling on the council seat island emerge into the common area, looking grave with authority, survey the room, and immediately set their eyes on the 2 party members.
Fucking run. I'm a bird. Cuckoo, run. Ooh, you should run.
They approach. The one in the lead addresses the party members. A most humble welcome from our lead counselor, Erasmus, and cordially invite you after you've finished your breakfast to join us in the council seat for a formal meeting. We will leave you to your breakfast and await you outside. Without pause, turns on his heel and marches out the doors.
That sounds pretty nice then, doesn't it, Roland?
That sounds like a terrible idea. My feeling is that if we go to the council seat, we will never leave the council seat. We should slip out the back and try and meet Lucas as quickly as possible. All right, Bolo, let's make our move.
Bolo nods and follows Roland's lead.
Yeah, Roland, he's able to retrace the route he took before. Their vision is caught by a strange happening off to the west. The thick brush barrier at the threshold of the city start to unfold themselves and move. Thick, twisting branches and brush rearranges itself into a gate of sorts, and the roaring of water can be heard beyond. And from the gate emerges a lone purple-robed figure descending down to the council seat island. It gains the pagoda building. Once the figure gains the island and walks in, the bridge untwists itself, the gate closes, and then the relative quiet of the city is restored.
Serious magic, Roland. We ought to check it out.
I think that is perhaps our host, Tai Ling.
They make their way back towards Lucas's small island, and they see the dyer busying himself about his stall.
Good morrow, Lucas.
I checked the northern woods this morning, and there were instructions to allow you to meet with a resistance member north of the city.
3 women, unfortunately, became aware of our party. They are clear, but the Tulsi will wear off.
If they become aware of the charm, then they are in very grave danger remaining here.
Yes, they need to be secreted out of the city. I am afraid that Bolo and I We'll not be able to avoid going to the council seat. Tai Ling is waiting for us, looking for us. Please do your best to spirit Artemis out of the city. He is capable, and it seems imperative that he meet with his former master, Dakos.
I will do as you say, Master Roland. I certainly hope you have some trick up your sleeve, for walking into the lion's mouth will be a perilous venture.
I gotta say, Ben, your mustache goatee combo is badass. Machiavelli himself.
I wrote, Lucas agrees to the plan. Okay, but yeah. We left off, and Lucas was going to go and get Artemis and the ladies out of the city to meet the resistance, and Bolo and Roland were going to go to the council seat. I'll leave it to Bolo and Roland.
All right, Bolo, let's do this.
Bolo and Roland head northwest and find themselves in the courtyard in front of Sothi's Inn. And the 3 sentries are standing at the front door, meeting the 2 travelers.
We've been waiting for you.
What are you waiting for, boykies? You were to lead us on to the council.
You will come with us to the council seat now.
We will come with you to the council seat now.
Jesus Christ.
They head towards the island with the council seat. They're ushered by the sentries to this stone archway that's set in this tower. They begin to ascend the tower, wending upwards. We'll shift to Artemis.
Nudies. Nudies. Shit.
A loud crashing at the door of the room. In the doorway is Lucas, stepping in and closing the door behind him and making a shushing noise towards the women with his finger. And he shushes them into the corner and sits down next to Artemis.
Lucas and Roland went to the same school of treating other people.
The Harrison Ford finger of education.
The finger of education.
Oh, God. He sits down on the bed and stares long and hard into Artemis's eyes. So how do you feel, Master Artemis?
Free me from my bonds and allow me to proceed directly to the council chamber.
He reaches into his belt pouch, takes out a small tulsi flower and grounds it up and says, Here, Master Artemis, I think you may be in need of some of this.
Artemis will take it and chew it and swallow it.
Lucas is watching him as he does this satisfactorily once he sees the swallowing motion. Sheathes his belt knife.
Satisfactory swallowing.
Well,
He's seen some
he sees
unsatisfactory swallowing motions.
Haven't we all?
Yeah. Anyway, he sees Artemis swallow the herb and then looks has a satisfactory look on his face when that happens. And continues. Artemis, I don't know what you were just saying. Obviously, nonsense conjured up in your mind by Erasmus. But now you should at least know and have clarity about the mind enough to know that that was not the plan.
Artemis is going to blink really hard and look around the room like he's seeing it for the first time and say, Lucas, is that you? We must get out of this city immediately. It's dangerous here. Untie me, please, immediately.
So we'll just cut back to Roland and Bolo. They emerge onto this cobbled terrace housing the council seat building. The sentry leads the duo towards the ornate pagoda building. They are led into the building, finding themselves in a spacious, bright, hexagonal room. 6 Raised dioceses are arranged along the walls, 5 of which are occupied by stern, aged-looking elves in fine robes of varying colors. The 6th being unoccupied, as Bolo and Roland enter, the elf of middle years wearing ornate, flowing robes of purple, blue eyes and hair of auburn brown, rising from his dais and the chair upon it, and striding towards them, hands spread in a greeting gesture. Travelers, be welcome into Turadia. The Council of 6 bids you find shade and water for all of your years.
Roland will give him the traditional bow. Pleased to be in your audience, learned elder.
Thank ye for your benevolent welcome, my lord.
There's a light gonging. Artemis is being shepherded through the doors, shoulder to shoulder with a sentry as well, leaving Artemis on the threshold of the council chamber. The sentry does an about face and leaves, with Artemis standing there on the threshold.
As he sidles up towards Bolo and Roland, he's going to give Bolo a conspiratorial wink. Are you aware of the effects of Tulsi seed on the inhabitants of your city? And he just taps his forehead and then makes a finger between his forehead and Erasmus's forehead motion back and forth.
I don't know what you're talking about, Artemis. Did the Tulsi seed make you feel better from your headache?
Artemis is just going to give a very big wink to Erasmus, and then he's going to sit down.
What the fuck?
To be honest, my lord, we came to the city to procure any intelligence.
No,
So,
my
to be
lord.
honest,
No. No.
Erasmus kind of looks haltingly between Bolo, Roland.
what? Is that not our goal?
Oh, yes, Roland? Yes. Yes, Roland. Roland? Yes.
We are somewhat motivated by shinies.
Yes, my lord. Yes. Yes.
Roland, make a wisdom saving throw.
TPK. TPK.
The new party has to invade North Korea and free the brainwashed heroes.
Who they have to fight against.
Yeah.
Roland, as Erasmus kind of
I'm down for this.
fixes you with this flat gaze, you just feel a mental pressure slam itself into place on you. He's charmed you.
My lord, I would do anything. My friend Bolo does like a drink. I mean, he likes shinies as well, but he does like a drink.
It's impolite to discuss your personal. Roland, what are you about here?
An alarm cry from somewhere off to the northeast. The sentries outside of the pagoda are shouting in some kind of surprise and tumult. The word fire comes to the ears of the party members. Erasmus stands up, and the 5 other council members wink out of existence. Tell me what is going on.
Let me just say, this is fucked up. There have been so many left turns. We're going in a weird ass spiral. I don't know what the hell is happening here.
My lord, what service can we be of service?
I hate it when this happens. Empty-headed nincompoop. Go out of the pagoda and see what this shouting is about.
The party does so.
Yeah. Exiting the pagoda, they come onto the terrace and see confusion. The island near the entrance when they came into the city is aflame. I'll have the entire party make wisdom saving throws. Pete, you're still charmed. Artemis, you're not charmed anymore.
still charmed.
Bolo, you're still
Oh.
charmed.
Fuck. Okay, so I take the wad of gross powder out of my mouth and I shove it in Roland's mouth and I convince him to eat it.
Roland, you feel that mental pressure relieved and you regain your faculties.
Artemis, you were supposed to leave the city with Lucas. What are we doing here?
I got charmed, and our planning didn't account for you sending Lucas to untie my bindings. I fell under his thrall. I just now broke out of it. I don't know for how long. Artemis is going to shout, "We're jumping," on the count of 3. And he's going to run towards this edge here.
Bolo doesn't mind jumping off of things.
3! And I'm going to jump off the edge. And as we're falling, all 3 of us, I cast Featherfall.
With the power of Featherfall, they slowly descend and find their footing on the island below them, just ahead of Lucas's stall.
Fucking cool. I've got it back!
Artemis, stop! And he sees Lucas running from the residential district towards them and says, on the floor of the stall, lift the rug now!
I do that.
Throwing it back, Artemis sees a wooden hatch. Bolo?
What, both?
Roland's going
He
to,
lands looking around, totally bewildered. Erasmus didn't say anything about a bloody
Bolo.
hitch.
We'd better make sure, though. And Artemis starts climbing down.
You know how intelligent Artemis is.
Erasmus would want to know about any malcontents' devious schemings in secret tunnels under his high nose. It would be best to investigate.
Exactly.
Bolo acquiesces.
Lucas is bringing up the rear there. The four of them descending down this ladder. I think that's maybe a good place to pause it.
Let me just say, that was the most fucking wackadoo sesh I've ever played, and awesome. Totally rad. GG, guys.
GG, y'all.
Okay.
I haven't taken a drop of acid in like a half a decade. That was really close. Thanks a lot.
Bye, everybody.
I love you guys. Good night.
All right.